What's up guys, welcome back to my Mario Kart review series. This is the 7th video of the series, which means it's time to review the 7th Mario Kart game. That would obviously be Mario Kart 7. If you enjoy this video, please consider subscribing, and let's dive into this review. I never thought I would do this, but here we are. This was the point where they switched to the number of games in the series to fit onto the name. We went from Super Mario Kart to Mario Kart 64, and then the names switched to mechanics like Super Circuit and Double Dash. Then we went back to the names of the consoles like Mario Kart DS and Wii, and now it was just a number. I'm going to start with what made this game so exciting in 2011 before the game came out, the ability to race on land, air, and sea. While this didn't revolutionize the gameplay as much, it made the track layouts way more exciting and less restrained. The glider made, well, a glider pop out of your kart, allowing you to satisfyingly glide over large chasms or just give you some airtime, while the water turbine thingy allows you to drive underwater, which made water or beach tracks way more interesting. Next is the character roster, which is where I'm going to leave my most critical opinions for the next few segments, so I apologize in advance. I don't like this character roster. It's so bugged. Literally. I would respect the added characters if we didn't get rid of the ones that I thought were way better. Like, they took some of my favorite characters in the series and just threw them away. Then they replaced them with Lakitu, a Wiggler, Honey Queen from Galaxy, and Metal Mario, who seems to take all the blame for literally everything in the Mario Kart series, even though he is easily the best new character in this game by far. Shy Eye sorta made his debut in this game, but I always think of him originating from DS. Now that I have that out of the way, it's time to get into vehicles. You can customize different parts of your vehicle now, like the body, wheels, and glider. However, I feel like most combos just don't look good at all. Like, only the standard kart, Egg 1, and a few others look okay with different wheels. I'm personally someone who cares about the look of the car more than the stats, so whenever I'll pick a kart, I'll just go with standard wheels unless there's another option that works. And on the topic of vehicles, where did bikes go? I, like many people, were in love with bikes due to the unique playstyle and being able to wheelie, and this game sadly couldn't make it work. Next are the modes, and I have to say, this is a bit disappointing. There are only 4 modes, and 2 of them are battle mode. I love versus mode and was hoping for a return of mission mode from DS, but here we are stuck with Grand Prix and time trial. We'll get back to battle mode later. Now it's time for the tracks. This game, like DS and Wii, has 32 tracks with 16 Nitro and 16 Retro Tracks. I'm going to list them out and leave a short description along with it. The game starts out with Toad Circuit, your typical starter track that this time features toad balloons and a glider ramp to spice things up. Next is Daisy Hills, a track that's set in a small town with lots of bridges and goats frolicking around. Then we move on to Cheep Cheep Lagoon, the first underwater track of the game that contains clams and a cave at the end. And to finish the Mushroom Cup, we have Shy Guy Bazaar, which is an Arabian Night themed track with a chasm to glide over at the end. To start off the Flower Cup, we have Woohoo Loop. It is based on Woohoo Island from Wii Sports Resort, and there are cars to avoid along your tour. Following that is Mario Circuit, where you get to go into Peach's Castle, bounce off mushroom pads, and go through this cool pipe tunnel. Third in the Flower Cup is Music Park, which features instruments to drive on, piranha plants, and giant music notes. And the final track for this cup is Rock Rock Mountain, which contains a cave, a glide over a forest, and a hill climb at the end while avoiding boulders. Third is the Star Cup, and it starts off with Piranha Plant Slide, a throwback to the underground from Super Mario Bros. With an underwater section. Next is Wario's Shipyard, which is an underwater track that has many boosts, ramps, and a pirate ship to drive on. Then is Neo Bowser City, a different take on a Bowser track set in a rainy city. And the last track in the Star Cup is Maka Woohoo, which is the last Woohoo Island track in the game, ending with a glide to the stadium at the end. Like every Mario Kart game, the last Nitro Cup is the Special Cup. This one begins with DK Jungle, which is based on Donkey Kong Country Returns, featuring a banana temple near the end. Second in the Special Cup is Rosalina's Ice World, a mix between an ice track and a water track. Third in the Star Cup, of course, is Bowser's Castle. This one contains a gliding section and an underwater section to spice things up. And last in the Special Cup is what else other than Rainbow Road. This one takes a different approach to things with a calm atmosphere and a space theme. Now it's time for the Retro Tracks. For the sake of time, I'll just list them out this time. This game brought back N64 Luigi Raceway, GBA Bowser's Castle 1, Wii Mushroom Gorge, DS Luigi's Mansion, N64 Koopa Troopa Beach, SNES Mario Circuit 2, Wii Coconut Mall, DS Waluigi Pinball, N64 Calamari Desert, DS DK Pass, GCN Daisy Cruiser, Wii Maple Treeway, Wii Koopa Cape, GCN Dino Dino Jungle, DS Airship Fortress, and SNES Rainbow Road to end things off. If you look at it, this game might just have the best track selection in the series, and it's the first game yet with an outstanding retro track selection. For the gameplay, there have been a decent amount of changes made here. here. I already talked about the gliding and underwater mechanics, so let's move on to a big returning gameplay aspect, the second screen minimap. This of course shows the track layout, what items everyone has, where the ground items have been placed, and many more. Another major mechanic that has returned is motion controls. I honestly think that motion controls just should have stayed on the Wii. In this game they're not that good, and it just doesn't feel the same as the Wii wheel. On the topic of Mario Kart Wii, the next thing is tricking. Tricking has been nerfed in this game, giving you less airtime, which is honestly better. Next is the coin. I didn't really have an issue with coins in this game. They're on the ground, and how many you have can increase speed in a race, and unlock vehicle parts outside of the race. The only thing about coins I absolutely despise is them making into a power-up in Mario Kart 8, which is literally just a wasted item. This game doesn't have that problem though, so good for it. Speaking of power-ups, that's what's next. The new Wii power-ups have been removed, which was a good decision. Even though the Mega Mushroom was a fun power-up, the others were terrible. The new powers for this game were the Super Leaf, Fire Flower, and the Lucky 7. The Super Leaf was the replacement of the fake item box, and it also sort of shouted out Super Mario 3D Land. This power-up isn't really that great though. It gives you a tail and you can hit other racers with it and destroy items with it as well. The problem with this item is that if you're not close to anything, it just sits there. It's not a bad power-up, I just don't know if it was needed. The Fire Flower was definitely needed though, and was way overdue. It did appear in Double Dash as a special item, but this is the way it should have worked. Think of it like the Golden Mushroom, but instead of giving you mushroom boosts, it shoots a short-range fireball that spins out whatever it hits. And finally is the Lucky 7. Excuse me, the spam everything the second you get it 7. I personally am not a fan of this one. You get a bunch of items, and since you need to keep getting items, you basically have no time to use this strategically. I also just want to say that if you thought the past entries were bad with blue shells, you clearly haven't played this game. I don't think a race goes by without seeing at least one come in to ruin your day. Last is battle mode. I'm not really going to go too deep into this one, but the battle courses are decent. We have GBA Battle Course 1, N64 Big Donut, DS Palm Shore, Honeybee Hive, Sherbet Rink, and Woohoo Town. The gameplay itself hasn't really been changed up that much, so I'll just leave that there. And that is Mario Kart 7. One of the reasons that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is so great is it takes this game and makes it so much better. But on the downside of that makes this game not as memorable because what is this game known for? Gliding in underwater? 8 has that. Customizable car parts? 8 has that. One of the greatest tracks of all time? Unfortunately, you can't really say much for what makes this game unique, besides the fact that it's Mario Kart on the 3DS. It's a heck of a time, certainly, are you kidding me? But compared to other Mario Karts, it doesn't have that much going for it. Thanks for watching this video, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see y'all in the next one. Have a good one.